So tell us, man, what is going on in the world of Svederna right now?
Well, Svederna, we have just released a single. I believe you played it just a while ago from our new album, Härd. And we are impatiently awaiting the album to be released later in August.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So as far as the recording of this record versus the last one, what can you tell us? Did you guys do anything different, or how was it different?
Well, I wasn't part of the recording process for the last album, Svederna, but we were at the same place. Svederna has always recorded their albums in the same studio, in the same cottage, in the same part of Sweden, deep in the forest. But yeah, I think we were looking for a cleaner sound. So we tried to really work with the guitar sound and the drums, make it really push through the mix and make it really clean.
Oh yeah,
but
man.
still keeping it really raw and organic.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say it really sounds. It sounds very clear. It sounds very organic. It does. The production is really good on it. But at the same time, it doesn't sound too polished. Like it's that perfect medium right there in between, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Thanks, man. We hit the right spot then.
For some of the gearheads out there that are wondering, can you tell us like what kind of equipment you guys were using?
As far as instruments go, or
yeah.
Well, we have let's see. I don't really know the brands or anything. I'm a plug and play guy, But the bass sound I can speak a little bit more about, if you like.
Yeah.
I'm using a Ibanez BTB 5-string, just right into the mixing board. Nothing fancy at all. And the guitar is an old Greco, I think, through a Marshall preamp, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's nothing fancy at all. You just worked with the sound and listened to it really carefully and polished it back and forth with our producer and engineer, Lars Robin. So yeah, it's just a lot of man hours in the mixing and in the recording that makes the sound what it is.
Hell yeah! Now, speaking of, tell us about your beginnings. Like, how did you get into being in a metal band, and what were some of your influences growing up?
And for me personally, well, a good question. I think I started with Slayer and Morbid Angel at about, I think I was 13 or something, and we had listened to a lot of punk and psychedelic rock earlier, and when I found thrash and death metal, it was like, oh shit, this is the deal. And there was no turning back from that point. So I was playing in a couple of bands over the year with a lot of friends, and later on came to study music more seriously, and later on joined a old school death metal band from Sweden called Verminous, where I played a couple of years. It was a lot of grindcore and death metal over the years with bands like Sergeant Carnage and Evildoer. And then when I moved to Stockholm, my good friend Per, who also plays in bands like Bergraven and Stilla, he had been asked to join Svederna as a live member. And they were looking for a bass player. And he knew me, so he recommended me for the other guys. And after one rehearsal, where we all met, we're one tightly knit unit from that in Svederna.
Fuck yeah, man! Very cool. Now, looking at the album art for this new record, man, I got to tell you, it's really, really cool. Can you tell us the story behind that?
Yeah, sure, and thanks. We worked with an artist called Björn Ulrik Lidberg, and we have been really, I mean, we're a mess to work with. We're really picky, and he just, went over and beyond when it came to the artwork, because it's such a big deal for us. We want it to be just right and hit all the right spots for us. So he came up with this, the front image with this twisted perspective of the forest. And we were totally sold about it, and we just went into it and started with the colorings and everything. And he was, it was really great to work with. And then our guitarist, Eric, he has made a lot of the icons used in the album artwork for the booklet and such. So, we wanted to catch the feeling of the deep Swedish melancholic forest and still have this, little twisted new thing about it. And that's what Svederna is all about.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say it definitely captures the atmosphere of what the music makes you feel and think about. Like when you're listening to it, you do feel like you're out in the middle of the woods in the night. It's cold, you're looking up, you see the fucking moon fucking glowing, and yeah, man.
Oh, great.
It's perfect, man. It really, really works, man. I like it.
Lovely.
I got some questions for you coming in from the listeners. Vicky Grandy wants to know: have you ever played in Canada?
No, we haven't. We made a short mini tour of Sweden, and we have also been out in Spain and Portugal, but we have never been outside Europe. But if you want us, we're coming.
Hell yeah. Another question, Metal Fury wants to know, where are you located at in Sweden?
Well, the original members, Erik, Anders, and Jonathan, they are from a wooded part of Sweden called Värmland, whereas I am from the southern part of Sweden, but now I'm living in Stockholm. And live guitarist Per is also from the southern parts of Sweden, but we're basically based in the middle regions of Sweden. Nice. Nowadays.
Okay. She also wants to know, what are some of your favorite bands?
Bands inspiring Svederna mostly, I can say, for example, Niflheim or Gorgoroth. But for me personally, I've always been a big fan of old school American death metal, like Morbid Angel and Immolation and such bands.
Hell yeah. Another question, what is your favorite Swedish food?
Ooh, favorite Swedish food. That has to be the meatballs, or maybe a special kind of sausage we call falukorv. You can't beat it.
Falukorv?
Yes, falukorv.
Nice. All right, let me see here. Another question is, what are some of your favorite venues to play at? Well, we had a really good run in Portugal, for example. We played, I can't remember the name. I think it was like Rock Bar 69 or something like that. It's a place in Porto. It was absolutely fantastic. A small venue in the middle of a kind of mall or something, and great staff and great sound. And that's where we recorded our live album, Ultra Gruta. It was a really great place. And in Sweden, we just played at Sticky Fingers in Gothenburg a couple of months ago, and it's a really great place too. And also
a place in Järfälla in Stockholm called Fredagsmangel. Also a real small club, but with really passionate people running it and inviting underground metal bands from all over Sweden. So yeah, a couple of those.
Oh yeah. Another question is, what's some of the craziest stories from being on the road?
Crazy stories from the road. Well, let me see. Well, it's just mostly late nights and a lot of partying. I don't know if we did anything particularly crazy, but I can rustle something up for a later occasion if they want details.
Right on. Let me see here. Vicky also wants to know, what do you prefer, bubble baths or showers?
Oh, I'd say, well, a nice shower. That's a tough question, but a nice shower, that's good.
Right on, man. Let me see here. And also, Titan wants to know, what was the inspiration behind this album?
That's a good question. There's so many things going on in Sweden, and I think Jonathan that writes the lyrics, he is really passionate about people living, without seeing, if you know what I mean. Just going with the flow, but never realizing what's around you or what's happening around you. And I think he really wants to describe, a more natural way of living, a freer way of living, so to speak. But musically, we really wanted to capture the simplicity and the darkness of the genre, but without getting stuck, in old tracks. So we wanted to make something that was new, but was still true to the roots, but with no fear of, what people might say. So we focused really a lot on making really good, strong riffs and melodies and bringing it together. Making it sound like the way we think black metal should sound.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I could definitely I know what you mean about people just blindly walking through the world, not really paying attention to.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, like what's your take on what's going on right now in the world?
Do you have anything particular in mind or more general, like with COVID?
Yeah, the fucking pandemic pestilence.
Yeah, the pandemic. Oh, it's so much. There are so many factors concerning this pandemic, and we could be here for hours talking about it. But yeah, it's hard on many folks, and everyone who listens to this, I'm sure, are aware of what it has done to the music business and live shows in general. I don't know, how is it over there? Are there like any concerts still?
Here and there. I mean, it's fucking crazy over here, man. Like everywhere you go, they have different rules and different laws, so it's kind of hard.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, it's we can't be more than 50 people in a crowd in Sweden, so most live concerts are postponed until further notice. So nobody knows anything really. Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, I normally ask everybody that comes on the show, like, what are your plans for the future? What's coming up next? But yeah,
that's pretty hard to answer right now, I guess.
Yeah, it is. But you have to just keep on working with. I mean, we have an album recorded. Not everybody has that up to sleeve for the moment. So we're trying to work with the album coming out and promoting it. and such. But booking gigs, is harder than ever for the time being.
Yeah, there's definitely not a lot of gigs happening right now in 2020, but like you said, I mean, there's a lot of bands I'm assuming, are probably sitting down writing material, and I can imagine 2021 is going to be packed full of fucking new records from everybody, you know?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think it's going to be a great music year, 2021.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Right on, man. Well, as far as if you could tour with anybody, if you could tour with anybody in the world, who would you like to tour with?
Oh, that's a really good question. Well, I'd say it would depend on where, but I'd say we have had a really good feeling about some Norwegian bands which we would like to play with, like Jævel from Norway. I think we would be a really good match. And also our label friends in Mordbrand from Sweden would also be a really good match for us. They have a good take on blackened death metal. That should be a good run, I think.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Another question from the listeners: how long have you been a musician?
Let's see. I've been playing music since I was 14, so that makes 22 years. Started with guitar, I got an old guitar from my parents, I think, and then I switched to bass when I was 17. Because I thought that when you start to listen to albums where the bass is a little more dominant, or where the bass player is really good, you get it's like an epiphany. It's like, oh, this is how it should sound. This is great. So I switched to bass, and been at it since then.
Right on. Who's your favorite bass guitar player?
I'd say Steve DeGorgio. Hands down.
Hell yeah.
And Geezer Butler, of course, from Black Sabbath. But yes, I think Steve DeGorgio has, he really redefined what a bass player in metal should be able to do. I think it's absolutely outstanding what he does, especially when he played with Death.
Yeah. Steve is badass, man. We had him on the show a while back, and we got we talked about Testament, of course, but I was really excited to ask him about Death, the recording of individual thought patterns and all that shit that went into that, man. That guy is a madman.
He seems really, really great.
Really cool dude too to talk to, man. He's really down to earth too.
That's good.
Yeah. Got another question for you from Metal Fury. She wants to know, how is Sweden in the summertime? What's it like over there in the summer?
It's brilliant, I'd say. I love the fact that we have 4 seasons, 4 strong seasons. Like when it's winter, it's really winter, and then you have spring and autumn. But the summer in Sweden is fantastic. You have. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning now, and it's already really light. Everything is green, and it's another sort of melancholy that hits you in the summer, because the nature is so extremely aesthetically impressive. So yeah, Sweden in the summertime. Go here.
Right on, man. All right. Well, I'm about out of questions for you. Is there anything else you want to let your fans know?
I just keep on listening to us, and follow us wherever you can on the media platforms. give us your feedback, and we really appreciate everyone who takes the time to listen to us, and we hope it will be more people in the future. So, and if you want us over to the States, we're coming.
Hell yeah. I gotta ask you, like, where can people go to pick up a copy of the record?
I think it would be possible to visit Carnal Records or through us. I'm not sure which distribution we're using for the overseas shipments, but if you go to our website or our Facebook page, we can take care of it for you. So start there.
Right on. All right. Well, before I let you go, I got to get you to make us a station tag, all right?
Okay.
All right. Whenever you're ready, say something like, "This is Svederna, and you're listening to Metal Devastation Radio."
Okay. This is Svederna, and you are listening to Metal Devastation Radio.
Fuck yeah. All right, man. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to blast some more Svederna for these motherfuckers so they can go crazy, all right?
That sounds good, man.
All right, man. Cheers. Thanks a lot for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you for having me. And have a good night.
You too, man.
Okay. See.
There you have it, folks. Svederna live on the Zach Moonshine Show with Metal Devastation motherfucking radio. Like I said earlier, put your speakers in your fucking windows, put them in your front lawns, put them wherever the fuck you can. Make your neighbors fucking hate you. Make your neighbors fucking go insane. If you don't see U-Haul trucks tomorrow everywhere, you need a new fucking stereo system, a new set of balls, a new set of tits. Fuck, man. Like, you need, seriously, just reach out right now, grab the fucking volume knob, and crank it the fuck up. God damn it.